Hello and welcome to Tailored Acres. I'm Taylor and I am a home gardener from Wisconsin, Zone 4B. Today I'm out in the vegetable garden and I'm going to be planting my cold weather crops. I had already amended my soil, which I did that in another video because I got a soil test and I kind of walk through my process on that if you're interested. So today we're going to be planting shallots that I started from seed. And I've never grown shallots before, so I'm just kind of growing them like I do my onions. We have Walla Walla onions. We have leeks that I got from the greenhouse. I've never grown leeks before. I'm really excited about that because leeks are really expensive. Then we have brassicas that were soil blocked here, and they don't look super happy, so we'll see how that goes. But they are pushing some new growth, so that's a good sign. And then we're also going to be planting carrots, some lettuce, and peas. So all of these things are able to tolerate a light frost. So we're not seeing any of that actually in the near future, but I'm sure we'll have some more. So none of these things will be affected by that. I won't be planting anything out in addition to these things until late May. So we're early May here and our temperatures, night temperatures are well above 28 degrees, which is kind of like the limit on these plants here. So that's when I'm planting out. I probably could have done it a few weeks ago, but I am behind this year. So that's how it goes with gardening. I'm going to start with the peas first. And this Cascadia variety is my absolute favorite. They are delicious at any stage of growth, whether you like eating the shells or just the peas inside. So that is our favorite here. And I got the big bag this year. But I also picked up some of this inoculant. And this is just supposed to boost growth for these. And I've never done this before, so I'm really curious to see if it makes a difference or not. So I'll just be sprinkling a little bit of this in with, I also use the Biotone starter fertilizer for everything. So, and on here, it gives us all the planting instructions. So you can plant them super early. They will germinate when the soil temp's above 50 degrees. Plant 1 to 2 inches deep. And then here's that special note, treat with inoculants before planting. You can also start them inside. It looks like I've never tried that before. They grow great right away here, and we have plenty of time to do that as well. I could probably just try that for a second crop, but so we're looking at spacing here. So 3 to 6 inches apart, which I have been doing way closer than that. So we'll probably plant them about 2 inches apart. Oh, here, 1 to 2 inches apart. Sorry, can't read. So that's going to be what we do here. So this is my pea area, and I have this like netting trellis, and the cattle panels will have plants on them, but peas, when it gets hot, they don't really like that. So a little bit of shade is a great thing. So once those grow up, it hasn't been an issue. Next, I'm going to work on the onions. So one note about your seedlings is to make sure that you have them hardened off if you started them inside. These I started in this container in mid-February. So they're looking really good. I forgot that I had bought some like bare root onion starts. So these I'm just going to separate gently and give them a try. I don't know, it's just an experiment. I've never grown them like this before, and these are both Walla Walla varieties, so it'll be a direct comparison. So one other note on these is that what I'll do is just grab a chunk. So I'm just going to pull gently and separate these. And you can see that they're all woven together, and they don't mind their roots separated. So I'm just going to pull this one out. And we got a nice start here. A couple more notes on these starts is that I'm only going to plant them to barely cover the roots. because they want that area to bulb out that's above the surface. So we only need to be covering the roots deep. That's something a lot of people do wrong because it feels like you want to plant it so deep, but don't do it. So that's one note. I'm going to plant mine about 4 inches apart, which is a little bit tight spacing. But I know last year they were about that big and it was enough. So they will be farther apart in rows, but the row spacing will be 4 inches apart because I'm going to plant them on each side of my drip tube. They love water. That's something else that I noticed that not many people really paid attention to. These need a lot of water, just like the garlic, to be able to bulb out. And they are heavy feeders. So I'm going to be planting them with the starter fertilizer, and I'm also going to be fertilizing them throughout the season. Next up is the shallots, and I'm not finding great information about how to plant these, but my plan is just to plant them at where they're growing because nature usually knows best. And just like the onions, I'm hoping these don't mind their roots disturbed. So it looks like they were about the same length, or same depth. I think I might plant these just a tiny bit deeper. It said there was a lot of information out there on planting bulbs, but obviously these are not bulbs, so we're just gonna grow them like onions this year and learn our lessons ourselves. Next up we have leeks, and I'm basically gonna treat these the same way they are in the onion family, and I'm gonna plant them right at the same level that they are in the container. Next we're gonna plant our carrot seeds, and I grew these last year and they're really good. So I had seed left over, so we're gonna give that a shot again. As you can see, there's 700 seeds in here, so that's quite a few. These did overwinter for me for the most part, and I harvested them all winter because it was so mild. I probably will try to compost on top of, or mulch on top of them, maybe put a tarp this year to make it easier in case we have a normal winter again. But when it gets cold, they get even sweeter, so they're a really good variety. So these were about 2 inches apart here, plant spacing. About 3 weeks to germinate, and this does say 3 to 5 weeks before last frost, so again in that like late April, early May time frame here. So we're gonna get those planted. I'm gonna use the trench method. These will get the Biotone starter fertilizer as well. A couple notes on carrots. These are the seeds here. They're tiny, but I do not like to oversow carrots because they are very tedious to thin. So I am going to plant them at that 2-inch spacing, and if one doesn't come up, that's fine. Carrots do not like to compete with each other or with weeds, so you got to keep them well weeded. I did mulch them in with grass clippings last year, and they were very happy with that. So I'll be doing that again this year. I have this whole row planted now. We go from onions to shallots to leeks to carrots. So I'll get these watered in next. And then we got some lettuce and brassicas. So here's my brassicas, and these are the first soil blocks that I will be planting. They're very cute. Should be really easy to get them in there. I am going to do about 18-inch spacing for all of these. And we have, we got broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, and cabbage. So they all look the same right now. These are tiny, just nestled right in there. So hopefully they'll be really happy. They're very difficult to see. And we're on to the last one for today. So we got butter crunch lettuce, and this does make a head, but you can harvest it early to just get leaves if you want. We'll see how much attention it gets from me. So I'm just gonna plant them at about 9-inch spacing because that's where my emitters are, and that makes it easy to see. So this can be grown in partial shade as well. So that's what we got next. I thought I'd show you also what is already growing as a cool weather crop here in my garden. So we have some strawberries that we planted together in another video, and those are looking really good. The leaves are so shiny on these. They're beautiful plants. So then we also have the fall planted garlic, which we did in another video. I'll just take you this way. This is the regular strawberry patch. So this is the wild side, and then that's the tame side that I redid last fall. So I'm going to do a comparison this year and see which side works better for me. All right, and then if we head into the orchard here, look at all this asparagus that's growing up. So these roots that I got bare root last year were huge. So I don't know how many years old they were, but they are looking really good. So I am actually going to pick some of these this year, but only the first few and only if they're nice and thick. So that is my favorite thing to grow. They're so good. I just love them so much. Thanks for joining today. I hope you have good success with your cool weather crops this year. Take care.